One man, one suitcase, and a dream to cross oceans to a world that didn't know him, didn't understand him. Rejection, hardship, doubt. They said it was impossible. They said he was too old, too late. But faith can move mountains. Determination can change the world. He started with nothing and built a legacy that spans the globe. Discover the incredible true story. Prepare to be inspired. Imagine a lonely old man, almost 70 years old, on a rattling steamship. He was leaving his home, his family, everything he knew, to travel across the vast ocean to a land far, far away. He had very little money, just a suitcase, some books, and a heart filled with hope, driven by a burning desire to fulfill the orders of his spiritual master. This man was Abhay Charande, born in Calcutta, India in 1896. He grew up in a country with a rich history of deep spiritual traditions rooted in devotion. From a young age, Abhay was drawn to these traditions. Having a natural affinity for the Lord, as a young boy of 4 or 5, he would playfully worship his little deities of Radha and Krishna. He even conducted a Jagannath Ratha Yatra with his playmates in the neighborhood, feeling a deep connection to something bigger than himself. But Abhay also saw the struggles around him. Poverty, sickness, and suffering were everywhere. He witnessed a deadly plague epidemic, consuming the lives of hundreds of people daily. Yet, something miraculous happened. Devotees, simply by chanting the holy names of the Lord, the Hare Krishna Maha mantra, in every street of Calcutta, brought relief. The epidemic subsided. This experience left a profound mark on young Abhay. It instilled in him an unshakable faith in the Lord's holy names and the realization of how fleeting this world truly is. He often wondered, is there more to life than this? Is there a way to find lasting happiness, not just for myself, but for everyone? This question stayed with him as he grew older, got married, and started a family business. Life went on. He became a successful businessman, a husband, and a father. Yet, deep inside, that childhood question still burned bright. He felt a calling, a purpose that was yet to be fulfilled. He knew he had to do something more, something bigger. And so, in search of that higher purpose, he joined the Gandhian movement, stepping into India's struggle for freedom. India is a land of ancient wisdom, a place where spirituality is woven into the very fabric of life. For thousands of years, people have sought answers to life's big questions through yoga, meditation, and the teachings of wise saints. Abhay grew up surrounded by this spiritual atmosphere. However, Abhay's life took a new direction in 1922 after meeting Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, a respected spiritual teacher. The teacher challenged Abhay's perspective on India's freedom struggle, emphasizing that true understanding lies in realizing God, the ultimate purpose of human life. The teacher's advice resonated with Abhay, who was urged to share India's spiritual wisdom, particularly Krishna consciousness, in English with the West. At that time, the West, especially America, was becoming very powerful and wealthy. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur saw that even with all the wealth, people in the West were missing something important: spiritual understanding and inner peace. He believed that the ancient teachings of India could help them find true happiness. The world was changing fast. After World War II, many people were looking for new meaning and purpose. Srila Prabhupada, as Abhay would later be known, understood this need. He felt a deep responsibility to share the message of Krishna consciousness with the world. His goal was to bring people closer to Krishna, who is the source of all happiness and love. Years passed. Abhay continued his family life and business, but he never forgot his teacher's words. Finally, in 1965, at the age of 69, he decided to take the leap. He booked passage on a cargo ship, the Jaladuta, bound for America. It was a long and arduous journey. He suffered from severe seasickness and endured 2 massive heart attacks while at sea. Weak and alone, he faced unimaginable hardship. But during this difficult time, something extraordinary happened. In a dream, Lord Krishna, in his many divine forms, appeared, rowing the ship himself. The Lord reassured him, "Do not fear, I am with you." That divine promise filled his heart with renewed strength. When he arrived in New York City, it was a world unlike anything he had ever known. Towering buildings, deafening streets, and a relentless, fast-paced life. He had no money, no contacts, and no place to stay. He was a stranger in a strange land. For months, he struggled. He lived in tiny bare rooms, sometimes without enough to eat. People didn't understand him or his message. They were caught up in their own lives, their own dreams. Some even mocked him, dismissing his spiritual teachings. It was an incredibly lonely and trying time. An old man, alone in an enormous city, with no support and rejection at every turn. Many would have given up. Many would have said, "This is too hard. I should just go back home." But Prabhupada was not like that. His faith was unshakable in his spiritual master's instructions, in the holy names of Lord Krishna, and in his mission. He believed with all his heart in the power of Krishna consciousness to transform people's lives. He was determined to persevere, no matter what. Slowly, things began to change. In the 1960s, many young people in America were questioning mainstream culture. They were searching for something deeper, something more meaningful than just material success and possessions. Drawn to Eastern spirituality, meditation, and the pursuit of peace, they were looking for answers. Prabhupada began holding classes in a small storefront in the East Village of New York City. He spoke about Krishna, love, yoga, and a life of true purpose. And surprisingly, people started to listen. Young men and women, hungry for meaning, were drawn to his wisdom and sincerity. They were fascinated by the ancient chants, the delicious vegetarian food, and the simple yet profound philosophy he shared. He taught them about the Bhagavad Gita, a sacred Indian text, and showed them how to apply its teachings in their daily lives. These young seekers became his first disciples. They saw in him not just a teacher, but a true spiritual guide, someone who genuinely cared about their well-being. Then, in 1966, just 1 year after arriving in America, Prabhupada established the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, ISKCON. Their first temple opened in that humble storefront. It wasn't grand, but it was a turning point. It was proof that his mission was beginning to take root. At last, he had created a space where people could come together, learn about Krishna consciousness, and find a true spiritual community. From that small storefront in New York, Prabhupada's movement began to spread like wildfire. He traveled tirelessly, crossing oceans and continents, opening temples and centers, city after city. His mission knew no boundaries. With unwavering dedication, he translated and authored over 70 volumes of Vedic scriptures, bringing their wisdom to people across the world. Everywhere he went, he spoke, teaching, inspiring, transforming lives. His words resonated with people from all walks of life, across cultures, across generations. He never claimed credit for himself. Humbly, he saw himself only as a messenger, faithfully delivering Lord Krishna's teachings without alteration. People were drawn to him, not just by his knowledge, but by the compassion with which he shared it. He spoke of self-realization, devotion, and spiritual fulfillment, offering a path of true joy beyond material pursuits. And so, ISKCON grew into a global movement. Temples, communities, and spiritual centers emerged in almost every country. Millions embraced Krishna consciousness, touched by his vision and sacrifice. Prabhupada's books, especially his translation and commentary on the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, became widely acclaimed. They have been translated into 76 languages, reaching millions of readers worldwide. His work was not just about temples. He built beautiful places of worship, revived the Grand Jagannath Chariot Festival, opened vegetarian restaurants, and established farms and schools, all dedicated to sharing Krishna's message. Yet, Srila Prabhupada did not live to see the full extent of his impact. In 1977, he left this world, his mission complete. But even after his passing, his movement continued to grow, to flourish, to transform lives. His legacy is immense. He brought the ancient wisdom of India to the modern world and proved that spiritual life is not just for monks or hermits, but for everyone. His light still shines, guiding millions on their journey toward Krishna. The story of Srila Prabhupada is an incredible testament to determination, faith, and the power of one person to create extraordinary change. He started with nothing. No wealth, no resources, only an unshakable mission. He faced countless challenges, endured hardships, yet never gave up. His life is proof that age is just a number and that it's never too late to pursue your dreams and make a lasting impact on the world. The key lessons from Prabhupada's journey are clear. Believe in yourself, even when others doubt you. Stay focused on your goals, no matter the obstacles. Have faith in Lord Krishna and trust the path ahead. Just like Srila Prabhupada, you too have the power to change the world in your own way. Find your passion, find your purpose, and never stop believing in the power of your dreams. Go out there and create your own incredible story. If you like this story, please click like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Please let us know in the comments if you would like to see more stories like this and on what topics. Thanks for watching.